Good evening and welcome. I am Amarachi Ubani. Tonight, President Muhammadu Buhari and Vice President Yemi Osinbajo received certificates of return from INEC. PDP flag bearer Atiku Abubakar rejects results of the presidential election, describes the process as a sham that cannot stand. Reactions trail the announcement of results from the presidential elections from all walks of life. President Trump's former lawyer, Michael Cohen, claims Mr. Trump knew beforehand about plans to hack Democratic emails in 2016.
On business news tonight, federal, states and local governments share 610.36 billion naira for the month of February as Federation Account Allocation Committee and monthly meeting.
On sports news tonight, FIFA begins 100-day countdown to the Women's World Cup in France with the unveiling of the official mascot and posters.
Victims of election violence in Delta State ask security agents to fish out the perpetrators.
The waiting game is over, and President Muhammadu Buhari and his deputy the last 4 years have been given another 4-year mandate. INEC chairman, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, confirmed this in the early hours of today when he announced that the APC candidate won the keenly contested election with a total of 15,191,847 votes to beat his closest rival, Atiku Abubakar of the PDP, who polled 11,262,978 votes. Well, President Buhari and Vice President Yemi Osinbajo later in the day collected their certificates of return from the INEC chairman, where the president promised to run on an all-inclusive government. Our correspondent, Gloria Omezoke, reports.
Amidst loud cheers and jubilation, President Muhammadu Buhari arrives the International Conference Center, Abuja, alongside Vice President-elect Professor Yemi Osinbajo to receive the certificate of return after he was declared winner of the 2019 presidential elections by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC.
Chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission.
Governors, members of cabinet and the National Assembly, as well as national leaders of the party, are among several here to witness.
Professor Yemi Osinbajo, please step forward to collect his certificate.
Chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, issues the certificate, upon which the Vice President appends his signature.
May I now invite the President-elect, Muhammadu Buhari.
And then it's the turn of the President-elect, Muhammadu Buhari, who is accompanied by his wife, Mrs. Aisha Buhari. Upon receipt, the President and his vice displayed a certificate of return to all.
I would invite the President-elect to make...
The President promises an all-inclusive government devoid of impunity.
I wish Mr. Chairman to congratulate all the presidential candidates and their teams on a hard-fought campaign. We may have had different views during the campaign, but the one thing most of us have in common is love of our country and our desire to improve conditions for Nigerians.
He also pledges that the hard work continues, and he thanks millions of Nigerians for another opportunity.
We must all see it as a victory for Nigeria, our dear country. All Nigerians going forward must stand in brotherhood for a bright and fulfilling future. I therefore want to assure that we will continue to engage all parties that have the best interests of Nigerians at heart. Our government will remain inclusive and our doors will remain open.
The president reiterates his promise to secure the nation.
I can assure you that you will see a country moving to the next level. Let me pay tribute here to those who lost their lives either through accidents or mindless violence during the course of these elections. My heart and thoughts are with the families of the victims. May God comfort and give them the fortitude to bear the loss.
This statutory function performed by the electoral body is carried out within 7 days of declaration, according to the requirements of the law. Gloria Umezuke, Channels Television News.
One man that is not amused by the events of today is the PDP flag bearer in the elections, Mr. Atiku Abubakar, and he is not mincing words at all. Mr. Abubakar says the election of last Saturday was characterized by many irregularities that could not be swept under the carpet and is therefore rejecting the results. The flag bearer, who was speaking when he addressed the World Press Conference in Abuja, says he will reveal his next line of action in the coming days. Our correspondent, Kayla Megwa, has more.
It is a solemn atmosphere at the Yaradua Center in Abuja as PDP stalwarts gather to hear from the party's presidential candidate. As he mounts the podium, he starts by describing what a true democratic process entails.
Democracy is a government of the people and by the people. Only when the people's choice prevails. That did not happen on Saturday, February 23, 2019.
Citing irregularities which he said bedeviled the electoral process, he goes on to reject the results of the election as released by INEC and speaks on the way forward.
In Akwa Ibom, for instance, the results showed a statistical impossibility of a 62% drop in voter numbers from the 2015 elections, even where voter registration and PVC collection rates were much higher than in 2015. This pattern was repeated in strongholds of the People's Democratic Party, including in states like Delta, Rivers, Abia, and Benue states. As this was occurring, we saw another statistical impossibility, wherein voter turnout and numbers increased astronomically in Borno State by an almost miraculous 82% in the midst of insecurity. My dear Nigerians, it is for this reason that I, Atiku Abubakar, reject the results declared by the Independent National Electoral Commission. I am conferring with not just my party, but also with the Nigerian people on next steps, which will be revealed to the public shortly.
The presidential candidate of the PDP had a word for his supporters and foreign investors.
All hope is not lost. Stay strong. Stay strong. By the grace of God, we shall triumph. And to the international investors and friends of Nigeria now pulling out of our country, can you imagine only yesterday by that May announcement, the stock market lost 85 billion. I urge you to be patient and keep faith with the Nigerian people. Your quarrel is not with the Nigerian people. Your quarrel is with those who stole their mandate.
What's the next step for the PDP? Will litigation get the party the victory it desires? Can the People's Democratic Party survive another 4 years as the main opposition? What is certain for now is the presidential candidate of the PDP promises not to give up without a fight. Kayla Magwa, Channels Television News.
Well, Nigerians from all walks of life have also been giving their views on the results announced by the electoral umpire today. While some celebrate the results, some others are not so pleased with the outcome. Our next report highlights some of these reactions to the results of the presidential polls. Our correspondent, Victoria Idowu, reports.
It's celebration across the country, dancing and cheering as President Muhammadu Buhari wins the second term in office. Northern indigents in Lagos expressed their joyful feelings with songs. The APC spokesman in Lagos, Joe Ibokwe, links the victory to President Buhari's honesty and integrity.
It's expected. The man has done so well. I had expected that he's going to use about 7-8 million votes to beat Atiku. You know what? Why do I say so? The man brought honesty, integrity, character in matters of governance.
The celebration continues in Edo State, where the Deputy Governor, Philip Shuaibu, and the APC State Chairman, Anselm Ojezwa, led the victory dance across the state capital. It's a lot of jubilations, and residents in Kaduna State are asking President Buhari to put in more efforts on improving the country's economy and security. In Dara, Katsina State, the home state of President Muhammadu Buhari, it's more of a carnival. The streets are filled with a long line of joyful people singing and dancing. The governor of Lagos State, Governor Akinwumi Ambode, in a statement says the victory is well-deserved. He stated that the victory is not just a confirmation of the people's love for President Buhari, but also an attestation that Nigerians are happy with the progress made in the last 4 years.
You must grip by force.
Also happy for the president's re-election is the governor of Kogi State, Yaya Bello. The chairman of the Progressive Governors Forum, Rocha Sokorocha.
I've preached the gospel severally in different quarters. I said there's need for us to look beyond sentiments and look at issues on ground.
I thank the great people of Kogi State for their massive turnout and peaceful conduct during the presidential and National Assembly elections. This amply demonstrates your commitment to the democratic process characterized by free and fair elections.
Some political parties in Kwara State have also been reacting to the president's victory, while the Labour Party commends the president for promising to operate an inclusive government. The All Progressives Congress sees the victory as an opportunity to complete ongoing projects.
On the whole, all of us are winners. If I don't want to talk of losers in this election. And that's why I'm excited that President Muhammadu Buhari has demonstrated statesmanship to say he's going to run an inclusive government.
He should not lose focus. Against all odds, this is the time that Nigeria really want to know what Buhari has in stock for us.
Not everyone is happy. In Taraba, jubilations by supporters of President Buhari turned violent as some hoodlums hijacked the jubilant crowd by burning down billboards belonging to opposition parties.
I think our democracy is being threatened by what is happening now, because it's a radical departure from what we saw in 2015.
It's however a mixed bag in Adamawa State.
We're not only of the same party, but we're his in-laws, and that we will continue to pray for him, to support him, and to ensure that as he takes the country to the next level, Adamawa will be part of that next level.
We are waiting to reclaim our mandate, God's willing, because it is the people's mandate. We've got the support, we've got the vote, and everybody is a witness of what is transpiring.
The reactions that have greeted the presidential elections have been mixed, and the president may not be unmindful of these, as he has promised to run an all-inclusive government. The next 4 years presents him an opportunity to do just that. Victoria Idowu, Channels Television News.
In part two, after the break, apart from winning a re-election for another term as Nigeria's president, what else do you know about President Muhammadu Buhari? We'll find out after the break. Stay with us.